Hello, everybody, and welcome to chapter 13 of the book of Bereishit as we continue to travel through Tanach. Chapter 13 has 18 verses, and it's found in the Koren Sachs Chumash on pages 82 and 83. In this chapter, Avram returns from Egypt to the land of Canaan, wealthy in livestock, silver, and gold. He goes back to the place where he first built an altar and calls out to Hashem. As Avram and his nephew Lot prosper, tension arises between their shepherds because the land could not support both flocks together. To avoid conflict, Avram suggests they separate, offering Lot the first choice of the land. Lot chooses the fertile plain of the Jordan, settling near Sodom. After their separation, Hashem reaffirms his promise to Avram, blessing him with the entire land and countless descendants. So with that in mind, let's start together with chapter 13, verse 1. Vayal Avram Mitzrayim. Avram went up from Egypt. This is the first time that we see the word Vayal, which shares the same root as the word Aliyah, which means to go up, and particularly when we think about moving to Israel, it's known as Aliyah. So Vayal Avram Mitzrayim. Avram went up from Egypt. Hu ve'ishto, he and his wife. V'chol asher lo, and all that he had. V'lot imo, and Lot as well with him. Hanegba, towards the Negev. Verse 2. V'Avram kaved ma'od. Avram had become very wealthy. Bamikneh bakesef uvazahav. Wealthy in cattle, silver, and gold. And interestingly, kaved isn't the usual word for wealthy. Kaved usually means heavy. So the implication here is that he is heavily weighed down. He is laden with all of these possessions. Verse 3, Vayelech lamasa'av min Negev va'ad Beis El. From the Negev he continued on his journey to Beit El, ad hamakom asher haya shama halo batchila, to the site where he had previously had his tent, bein Beis El uvein ha'ai, between Beit El and Ai. Verse 4, El makom hamizbeach asher asa sham barishona, and where he had first made an altar, Vayikra sham Avram b'shem Adonai, and there Avram called on the name of Hashem. Verse 5, V'gam lelot ha'holeches Avram, Lot, who also went with Avram, hayatzon uvakar v'ohalim, had flocks, herds, and tents as well. Lot was prospering on account of the fact that he was following along with Avram. Verse 6, V'lo nasa osam ha'aretz lasheves yachdav, and the land could not support them living together. Ki hayaru chusham rav, for they had so many possessions. V'lo yachlu lasheves yachdav, and they were unable to live side by side. Vayihi riv bein roe miknei Avram uvein roe miknei Lot. A dispute broke out between Avram's herdsmen and those of Lot. V'haknani v'haprizi az yoshev ba'aretz, and the Canaanites and the Prizi, the Perizzites, were also living on the land at the time. And the Torah points this out to help us understand why it would be Avram and Lot make this decision to spread out. Verse 8, Vayomer Avram el Lot. Avram said to Lot, Al na sehim riva beini uveinecha. Please, let there be no friction between me and you, no quarreling, no arguing. Vein ro'ai uvein ro'echa, and between my herdsmen, my shepherds, and yours. Ki anashim achim anachnu, for we are brothers. Haloch ha'aretz lefanecha. The whole land lies before you. Hipared name alai. Please separate yourself from me. Im hasmol ve'emina vim hayamin ve'asmeila. If you go to the left, I will go to the right. If you go to the right, I will go to the left. Verse 10, Vayisa Lot esenav. So Lot lifted up his eyes, Vayar es kol kikar hayadein, ki chula mashker, and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan was well watered. Lifnei shaches Adonai es Sodom ve'es Amora. And this was before Hashem had destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Spoiler alert. Kigan Adonai ke'eretz Mitzrayim bo'achar Tzoar. The garden of Hashem, and like the land of Egypt, going towards Tzoar. This is drawing our attention to the fertility of this particular land where Sodom and Gomorrah were, as well as the Gan Hashem, the garden of Hashem, which refers to Gan Eden, and to the land of Mitzrayim, to Eretz Mitzrayim, to Egypt, which was also incredibly fertile. There is a deep connection between these places that is worth exploring, but for now, we continue with verse 11. Vayivchar lo Lot es kol kikar hayaden. So Lot chose for himself the entire plain of the Jordan. Vayisa Lot mikedem. And Lot traveled eastward. Vayipardu ish me'al achiv. And the two of them separated. Verse 12, Avram yashav ba'eretz Canaan. Avram dwelled in the land of Canaan. V'Lot yashav ba'arei hakikar. While Lot settled in the cities of the plain. Vayehal ad Sodom, pitching his tent near Sodom. V'anshei Sodom ra'im v'chataim ladonai me'od. But the people of Sodom were evil and were great sinners against Hashem. V'Adonai omar el Avram, and Hashem said to Avram, Acharei hipared Lot me'imor, after Lot had separated from him, Sana inecha, lift up your eyes, Ure'ei min hamakom asher ata sham, and look around from where you are, Tzafona v'negba, v'kedma v'yama. Look to the north, the south, the east and the west. Verse 15, Ki es kol ha'aretz asher ata ro'eh lacha etnena, because all of the land that you can see, I will give it to you. Ulezaracha ad olam, and to your descendants forever. V'samties zaracha ka'afar ha'aretz, and I will make your descendants like the dust of the earth. Asher im yuchal ish limnos es afa ha'aretz, gam zaracha yimaneh. So that if one can count the dust of the earth, then your descendants too can be counted. Verse 17, Kum, get up, hishalech ba'aretz la'arka l'rachba, and walk through the length and breadth of the land, ki lecha etnena, because I am giving it to you. And finally, verse 18, Vayehal Avram, Vayavo Vayeshev be'elonei Mamre asher b'Chevron. So Avram took his tent and came to settle by the oaks of Mamre in Chevron. Vayiven sham mizbeach ladonai, and there he built an altar to Hashem. And that's all for chapter 13. Join us next time for chapter 14, where we will read about the war between the 4 kings and the 5 kings, which Avram gets caught up in because Lot is taken captive, and Avram has to go and rescue Lot. It's an exciting chapter, and you'll just have to stay tuned until then. But in the meantime, I wish you a wonderful and meaningful day.